Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, welcome to the 41st Annual Otto Graham Awards here at Greater New Bedford Vocational Technical High School. That's the last time I'll probably say it that way till our nominee comes up. I'm Ed Pereira. Thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to another great year. We got some great nominees, and let's tell you all about them right now. First of all, from Apponequet, please welcome Jason Gagne along with his coach, Zane Fry. From Bishop Stang High School, please welcome Michael Golden and his coach and his dad, Dennis Golden. From Bourne High School, please welcome Craig Hill and coach John McIntyre. From Bristol Plymouth High School, please welcome Ryan Barnes and coach John Paris. It's a little different this year. We have the players up here and the coaches get to go downstairs, so they don't have to worry about playing musical chairs during the presentation, which I'm sure they really appreciate. From Dartmouth High School, please welcome Eli Johnson and his coach Richard White. From Diamond Regional High School, please welcome Devin Senecal and coach Luke Barry. From Durfee High School, please welcome Merkel Mercado and coach Taylor Brown. From Fairhaven High School, please welcome Kevin Mora and coach Derek Almeida. From Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School, please welcome Mike Murphy and his coach, Justin Cruz. From Joseph Case High School, please welcome Devin Silva and coach Anthony Palladino. From Middleborough High School, please welcome Jacob Briggs and coach Patrick Kingman. From New Bedford High School, please welcome Jazed Val Serra and his coach Mark DeBrito. From Old Colony, please welcome Matthew McGuigan and coach Brandon Mendez. From Old Rochester Regional High School, please welcome Walter Rocher and his coach Bryce Gibo. From Somerset Berkeley High School, please welcome Davis Sullivan and his coach Nick Freitas. From Taunton High School, please welcome Jacob Leonard and coach Brad Sidwell. And you can give a round of applause. He might hear it across the way. As from Wareham, Elijah Carrion's playing in a basketball game against the New Bedford Voc-Tech Bears. I think it just tipped off about a minute ago, didn't it? Yes, it did. And we congratulate him also from Wareham. So nice round of applause for Elijah Carrion, please. As we mentioned, it's the 41st Annual Otto Graham Awards. Now, by now, I think you'd have to ask your grandfathers who Otto Graham actually was. You guys, you probably have to ask your great-grandfathers, actually. Otto Graham actually played football back in the 40s and in the 50s. He was an All-Pro during the 50s. He was named to the 1950s NFL All-Decade Team. He was the Tom Brady of his time. He actually won 7 championships in a 10-year period, and that's pretty good right there, to say the least. And he did it in the AFC and also in the NFL. The other thing that we like about this, and I'm going to let Mr. Fabio tell you about this in just a moment here, he was also a gentleman who was at the Coast Guard Academy for many years, and he was the athletic director there and also the commandant at the Coast Guard Academy in later years. So quite a gentleman, and if you ever get a chance, read up on his records. His records, I think, still still he has the average pass attempt, the longest one still in the National Football League in the Hall of Fame. So now you know a little bit about Otto Graham, and it'll be something you can like win a bet with somebody sometime if they ever ask you about it. You say, yeah, I know who the guy is. It'll work out fine. Now, let's tell you a little bit more. Here we get some thank yous we got to do. First of all, we want to thank the good folks over here at Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational. First of all, the superintendent, Mike Watson, the principal, Wally Williams, and how about the Culinary Arts Department for the fine job they did. Did you have something to eat? Did you try something? Coach Golden, I know I saw your plate. You looked like you were doing just fine. Yep, good. That's always good. We also want to thank the good folks over at Robert Formals in Town Tux. As you can see, the gentlemen here look very well dressed tonight. They look snazzy and not quite like what we see on the football field at the end of a game, that is for sure. Well, we told you that it's the 41st annual event here of the Otto Graham Awards. A gentleman that's been here for each and every one of them, a gentleman who actually came up with this idea, is Richard Fabio, and he's here with us this evening. Mr. Fabio, a few words, please.
Thank you, Ed, and also Ryan, Matthew, Voke's athletic director. I've got a couple of pages of handouts for the players and their coaches, which get to you at the end of the ceremony. It includes the first 20 winners of the Otto Graham Award. I'll see that each of you do get this at the end of the evening. I'd like a few tidbits on this handout, and it goes to some of the things that Ed just said. There was a sports columnist, Mike Goodpaster. He wrote an article a year ago, and he titled it The Forgotten Quarterback. Mike wrote an article claiming Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in history, and he stands by that. They are judged on their ability to make the playoffs and win championship games. And yet the greatest winner of all is seldom ever mentioned in the debate of who is the greatest quarterback of all time. There is only one quarterback in history who has led his team to the championship game every year he played. That man's name is Otto Graham. After college, Otto Graham served in the military. At the end of World War II, he was approached by the legendary coach Paul Brown about playing for the Cleveland Browns in the AAFC, a new professional football league. Graham agreed to play. Problem was, the Browns weren't going to stop playing until the next season. In the meantime, Otto Graham decided he was going to play for the Rochester Royals of the National Basketball League, the precursor to today's NBA. It should come as no surprise, the Royals won the NBL championship in Graham's lone year on the team in 1946. To all of the nominees representing your respective schools, congratulations. In closing, District Attorney Tom Quinn's kid brother, Attorney Matt Quinn, was the first winner of the Otto Graham Award, 1982, 40 years ago. I spoke to Matt this afternoon. He sends his best wishes. He's now 57 years old, and he said it seems like yesterday that he was sitting in the same seats. Of course, they were those seats then. We just changed this year to this. This is much better. He still remembers being here and sharing this evening as these men are doing tonight with their colleagues. I thank all of you, and good luck this evening.
Well, it is now time for us to meet all of our candidates here and tell you a little bit about each and every one of them. First of all, from Apponequet High School, please welcome Jackson Gagne, and again, his coach joining him also. Coach. Coach Fry gets the best job of all. He gets to get the trophy and then come all the way around. You're getting your steps in a little bit late today, but it works out fine. Let's tell you a little bit more about Jackson. It is the privilege of Apponequet Regional High School to nominate Jackson Gagne for the Otto Graham Award. Jackson, a captain of the 2022 Lakers football team, has been an integral leader for the football program over the last few years, leading the team both offensively and defensively. He and his fellow teammates far exceeded expectations this season, finishing 8-2 and being crowned South Coast Conference champions. This is greatly in part due to Jackson's performance, his talent, and his leadership on the field. On offense this year, Jackson was the workhorse for the Lakers. His punishing, explosive, and elusive running style helped him to rush for 1,045 yards, averaging 6.1 yards per carry, 10 rushing touchdowns, and 9 two-point conversions. He also caught 11 passes for an additional 180 yards, or 16.4 yards per catch, while also throwing for 58 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 122 offensive yards per game, and through his 27-game career as a varsity player, he amassed 1,938 yards on the ground and 421 yards receiving, while accumulating 19 touchdowns. As a strong safety on defense, Jackson made 62 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, and a defensive touchdown in 2022. Throughout his career, he was able to rack up 172 tackles. 11 and a half of those tackles were for loss, 1 sack, 6 interceptions, a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 defensive touchdowns. Jackson is a well-accomplished young man in the game of football. He is a 2-time SCC All-Star, a 2-time SCC champion, a Standard Time Super Team Award winner, the 2021 Division V All-Star Honorable Mention as a junior, and is being nominated for the Shriners All-Star Game and the Division V All-State Team this season. Jackson not only excels on the field, but in the classroom as well. He's a member of the National Honor Society, sporting a 4.2 GPA, and is one of the top graduating members of his class. Ladies and gentlemen, once again from Apponequet High School, Jackson Gagne. From Bishop Stang High School, please welcome Michael Golden and his coach, Dennis Golden. You think we'd make it a little easier for you, Michael, than have to walk around with all those crutches and stuff. Let's tell you a little bit about Michael, 3-year starter. Michael has been a foundational piece of the program. Michael is smart, he is talented, and he always gives his best efforts to the program. Michael played a number of positions for the Spartans, including running back, tight end, receiver, and defensive end. Early on in his career, he also played quarterback, linebacker, and safety. Michael understands the game and how he fits into it. Michael plays with great effort, and he is always striving to do more. Many times, his will to play and his drive to compete and kept them going. Most often, when he got going, the Bishop Stang Spartans got going, and it was a lot of fun. As a teammate, Michael is good to those around him. He takes the time to teach, to help, and to bring others along. Michael was one of our football team captains this year. He simply loves being with his teammates. He showed tremendous commitment in the offseason, and he continually got better because he loves to play this game. During the season, Michael played great when healthy. He had 117 rushes for 784 yards, 6 touchdowns. He coupled this with 33 and a half tackles on defense. Unfortunately, injuries kept him from doing more. He long snapped, he blocked kicks, and he helped in each and every way possible. Through this, he remained humble, and he was simply a pleasure to coach. A strong student in the classroom, Michael carries a 3.9 grade point average while taking a number of challenging classes. He is a fine all-around athlete, and he is a 4-year member on their varsity basketball team. He's also competed in tennis and track and field. He's active in campus ministry, and he also serves as a lector at the parish Our Lady of the Assumption in New Bedford. Ladies and gentlemen, once again from Bishop Stang High School, Michael Golden. Now from Vaughan High School, please welcome Craig Hill and also his coach, John McIntyre. Let's tell you a little bit more about Craig. It is a great pleasure for them to nominate Craig Hill as an outstanding candidate for the Otto Graham Football Achievement Award. In his 25 years of coaching, I have never been around a young man with a better work ethic, both on and off the field. Craig has been a 3-year starter as a running back and linebacker. Although statistics can't begin to explain what Craig means to his team, he managed to rush for 650 yards while scoring 10 touchdowns. Craig showed a rare level of dedication and enthusiasm for the game that is matched only by few. His ability to lead is one of his greatest attributes, and it showed this year, setting the examples for the younger players of what it takes to play this great game. Although the season got off to a rough start, Craig was the glue that bound the team together. Through Craig's toughness and his leadership, the Canalmen finished the season with a 5-6 record, winning their last 3 games. Craig would play anywhere and do anything that they asked of him to make the team better and give them a best opportunity to win. Craig is the epitome of a gamer. You can see the passion in which he plays with when he makes his runs. Craig also brought a physical presence and big playability to a young, inexperienced squad. Craig is not the biggest kid on the field, but he runs with a physicality that belies his size. Everything he has accomplished has come as a direct result of the effort he has put into becoming a better football player and, more importantly, a better young man. He had to outwork his teammates to earn a starting job, and by doing so, he earned the respect of his teammates, coaches, and opponents. He was voted captain by his peers and earned the Football Booster Club Dunbury Award for academic and athletic excellence. Craig also was our go-to player. Whenever we needed a big play, we could rely on Craig to make that play. His competitiveness and his physical presence on both the football field earned him a spot as an honorable mention SCC All-Star in his senior year. Craig is also an outstanding student. He's been on the honor roll all 4 years of high school and currently has a 4.32 GPA and is ranked number 11 in his class. Craig is still looking to continue his education in college and is looking at many schools, including Mass Maritime. Craig also is looking at serving his country as a Navy SEAL and has completed the Naval Special Warfare Orientation course. As a good player, as Craig is on the field, he is a better person off the field. He is honest, humble, and hardworking. Whatever the future holds, I know that Craig will meet every challenge in life presented to him with the same work ethic and positive attitude he displays on the football field. Craig will be terribly missed next year. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Craig Hill from Bourne and Coach John McIntyre. From Bristol Plymouth High School, please welcome Ryan Barnes. I think the coaches have the toughest job here. They have to look for where the trophy is. Oh, there it is. Okay, now bring the plaque up. Now we got it. Well, let's see what the coach wrote about Ryan here. Fall season 2022 marked the official return of normal high school football, and parents, fans, coaches, and athletes welcomed the return with open arms. Senior standout Ryan Barnes gave everyone something a bit extra to cheer about. Despite missing the last 2 games because of a season-ending injury, Ryan beat the Bristol Plymouth Regional Technical School record for points earned in 1 season. Ryan's football statistics are impressive. He served as a 3-year starter and had 19 touchdowns in 7 games this year. This totaled 26 touchdowns in his career. Notably, he had over 1,200 yards rushing this year alone. Again, he did this despite the fact that Ryan had a season-ending injury with 2 playoff games left in the season. Many times when vocational students become upperclassmen and have the opportunity to work in their trade, and therefore high school athletics kind of takes a back seat. However, Ryan Barnes showed his tremendous work ethic to his teammates that it is still possible to work, attend school, and be a leader on the football field. My assistant coaches and I are extremely proud of Ryan for making the difference in the face of adversity, and for these reasons, they proudly nominate him for the Otto Graham Award for this season. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, from Bristol Plymouth, Ryan Barnes. From Dartmouth High School, please welcome Eli Johnson and Coach Richard White. Well, Well, here's what Coach White had to say about Eli. It is with great pride that the Dartmouth High School football coaching staff nominates senior lineman Eli Johnson for the prestigious 2022 Otto Graham Football Achievement Award. Playing offensive tackle and defensive end for the Indians the past 2 seasons, Eli emerged as one of the best linemen in the South Coast area. He's a young man who loves to play the game of football, and it shows in his attitude and effort in both practice and in the games. He has a motor that just never stops. On offense, Eli anchored the Indians' offensive line as their best run and pass blocker. At 6 feet, 215 pounds, he used his outstanding technique to double-team defensive tackles, his quickness to reach block defensive ends, and his agility to block linebackers in space. On defense, Eli led the defensive line with 54 tackles. 5 of those tackles were for loss, 2 caused fumbles, 2 sacks, and 3 hurries. He was relentless in his pursuit of the ball carrier and was the recipient of Dartmouth's Red Shirt Award, the player of the game, 3 times this season. Eli was recently named to the 2022 Southeast Conference All-Star Team. He's not only an outstanding football player, but a well-respected young man in the Dartmouth High School community as well. He's a good student with a laid-back personality who is kind to all who cross his path. Eli also is a defenseman on our lacrosse team and hopes to play football in college at the Division III level. The coaching staff at Dartmouth High School sincerely hopes that the selection committee will strongly consider Eli as a recipient of the 2022 Otto Graham Award. Ladies and gentlemen, once again from Dartmouth High School, Eli Johnson. From Diamond Regional High School, please welcome Devin Senecal and his coach, Luke Barry. Here's what Coach Barry said about Devin. He says he's pleased to nominate Devin Senecal for this award this year. He played linebacker and fullback for Diamond and was exactly what any coach would want in a player. Every day he came in practice and played with great effort, had a great attitude, and always put the team first. As a player, Devin had 85 tackles this season, including 9 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Offensively, he was a devastating lead blocker. He had 12 pancakes this year, including a game where he had 6. He also had 5 catches for 26 yards. I had 3 pancakes for breakfast this morning, but just thought I'd mention that. However, his greatest contributions to the Diamond football program was who he was as a leader and teammate. Devin's effort was also on display. He worked hard in the weight room to prepare for his senior season, helped organize and run captain's practices last summer, and in practice, he displayed great effort in every drill while demanding the same out of his teammates. On top of that, as a student, Devin has a 3.5 GPA. Devin also has a great attitude. He's extremely competitive, tough, and was always looking for ways to improve as a player, and with his football intelligence, his competitiveness is something that helped him set the tone for each practice. His football IQ is so high that he was basically another coach on the field. He regularly helped the other players get lined up, and in one game, he recognized an uncovered receiver, quickly covered him just before the ball was snapped, which likely prevented the Diamond defense from giving up a touchdown. Devin's toughness also could not be ignored. He suffered an ankle injury in a scrimmage a week before his senior night game. Onlookers thought that the season may be over, but Devin worked relentlessly and with the trainer all week long and led the team to a victory over Upper Cape Tech on senior night. His toughness was also on display in his physicality. As our middle linebacker, he regularly energized our entire sideline with explosive hits, and as a fullback, he dished out more pancakes than an IHOP waitress. Very nicely done, Coach. I like that. That was great. Most importantly, Devin was a great leader and always put the team first. He was the guy that led by example and demanded great effort and attitudes from his teammates as well. We had a member of our team that did a ton for the team, filming practices and games, filling up Gatorade coolers, etc. And in an effort to reward this player, Devin and another captain went to Dick's Sporting Goods, bought a football and some Sharpies, and had the entire team sign the ball so that the team could present the football as a gift. That gesture kind of epitomizes who Devin is, a great young man who will put in a great effort for the team. Ladies and gentlemen from Diamond Regional, please give a round of applause to Devin Senecal. From Durfee High School, please welcome Miguel Mercado and Coach Taylor Brown. It is with great pleasure that Durfee High School nominates Miguel Mercado for the 2022 Otto Graham Award. Miguel has been a member of the Durfee football program for 4 years, and he has dedicated himself to Durfee High School, the football program, and the school community. Miguel has a great work ethic and he has great character. Miguel has earned the respect of his coaches and teammates throughout the past 4 years. Miguel has been a 2-year starter for them at middle linebacker, fullback, and special teams. Miguel was the signal caller on the defensive side and the blocker that led the way for our running backs. When Miguel was on the field in practice and in games, you could always bet he was going to go full speed. Miguel, being undersized for his position, played with a ferocious mentality that inspired his teammates. Miguel was not the most vocal player they had, but Miguel certainly led by example with his hustle and his energy on the field. Miguel doesn't have the big-time stats that usually gets a player nominated for this kind of award, but he does, however, have the commitment, the dedication, the loyalty, and compassion that every football coach wants in his players. On the defensive side of the ball, Miguel was able to tally 56 tackles. 6 of those were for loss, 1.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. On offense, Miguel carried the ball 45 times for 195 yards and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. He also had 2 receptions for 30 yards. Miguel was one of the few seniors on the roster this year that stayed loyal to the program when adversity hit. The team struggled this year, but you wouldn't be able to tell that by Miguel's play or his attitude. Miguel never complained, and he continued to come to practice to try to improve himself and his teammates each and every day. This is a true testament to his character, dedication to the program, and his commitment to improving the Durfee program. It is without a doubt that Miguel will be successful in his future endeavors. After high school, Miguel is interested in joining a union as a welder. If he continues to bring the energy and optimism to work every day like he did at practice, there is no telling what he can do. The Durfee football program coaches and the players would like to show our appreciation to Miguel by nominating him for this year's Otto Graham Award. Ladies and gentlemen, from Durfee High School, Miguel Mercado. From Fairhaven High School, please welcome Kevin Mora and Coach Derek Almeida. Let's tell you a little bit about Kevin. The Fairhaven High School football program is extremely proud to nominate Kevin for this year's Otto Graham. Kevin has been a difference maker on both sides of the ball the past 3 years as a member of the varsity football team. He started one way as a sophomore and then on both sides of the ball during his junior and senior seasons. Kevin is a true lineman in every sense of the word. He is a 6'3", 275-pound player and played offensive guard and defensive tackle. Kevin played with a high motor and great physicality. Offensively, you often saw us running our triple option play directly behind him. He was able to get to the football and get constant push on anyone that he was lined up against. We also expanded the playbook a little bit during his senior year because of his skill set and used him as a puller or trap blocker in down schemes. On defense, he often demanded a double team, and when he was singled up, he was a consistent force in the opponent's backfield. He was the team leader in both tackles for losses and sacks. He also had a knack for batting down balls as he was able to deflect 5 passes throughout the year. Kevin was named a captain as a senior and was very deserving of that honor. He led by example and showed up all the time, all year round. He has been a constant force in the weight room and also pushed others to attend. Overall, we got much stronger as a program, and I think that was a direct result of Kevin's leadership. Kevin also has been able to be a leader around the school. He's very respectful of teachers and other classmates and is looked at very highly by his peers. Academically, Kevin achieved a high level, piling a 3.6 GPA and is in the top half of his class. As a senior, Kevin was chosen to the SCC All-Star team. Overall, Kevin had a huge positive impact on the program with his dedication, leadership, and constant intensity. He led by example and is the ultimate competitor. It was an honor to coach him, and they're proud to nominate him for this prestigious award. Ladies and gentlemen, once again from Fairhaven High School, Kevin Mora. From Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School, please welcome Michael Murphy and Coach Justin Cruz. Let's see what Coach wrote about Michael here. It's a great pleasure that Greater New Bedford Voc Tech nominates Michael Murphy for the award. During my relationship with Michael, I have experienced an individual who is passionate about their preparation, who shows up earlier than asked, works hard, and because of these traits is naturally a great leader. Michael is a perfect representation of what you want out of a student athlete. Now, Mike earned his role as an undersized outside linebacker, strong safety at the beginning of his junior year. Mike certainly made up for his size with his technique and his toughness, fitting right into a senior-led defense. Finishing just short of a vocational state championship as a junior, Mike hit the ground running going into the season of his senior year. Michael worked tirelessly to build his physical, mental leadership abilities, which proved to be fruitful during his senior year. Michael was voted to be a captain of both his coaches and his peers unanimously. As a senior, Mike accounted for 70 tackles, 6 sacks, and 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery, and he scored a special teams TD on a kick return. The performance earned Mike a Team Defensive MVP award and a South Coast Conference All-Star spot. Off of the field, Michael is one of the top at his welding shop at GMB Voc-Tech, and he has earned himself a co-op position working for Technicore, a manufacturing company based out of Fall River. Michael showed growth as both a football player and a young man when his time at Greater New Bedford Voc-Tech. I have no doubt that Murph will succeed whatever he chooses to pursue next. He will be greatly missed by the Voc-Tech family, and they wish him well. Once again, from New Bedford Voc-Tech, Michael Murphy. From Joseph Case High School, please welcome Devin Sylvia and his coach, Anthony Palladino. Well, Coach says, I'm pleased to nominate Devin Silva for the Otto Graham Football Achievement Award for his excellence both on and off the field. Devin has been a 2-year starter and senior captain for the Cardinals. From his receiver position, Devin was the focal point for other teams' defenses and still managed to have over 600 total yards and 7 touchdowns. Devin also played safety and routinely made plays on defense to save scores. He totaled 65 tackles, 7 passes defended also. Devin also made drastic improvement in the classroom this year as he dedicated himself to be a complete school leader both on and off the field. He currently has a 3.0 GPA for his senior year. He's also very accomplished in winter and spring track. All of this while continuing to work a part-time job. Devin is a great kid with a big heart who is always willing to help people. Devin Silva would be a great choice for this year's Otto Graham Award. From Joseph Case High School, once again, Devin Silva. From Middleborough High School, please welcome Jacob Briggs and Coach Patrick Kingman. Well, let's tell you a little bit more about young Mr. Briggs here. It is with great pleasure that I nominate Jacob Briggs for the Otto Graham Football Achievement Award. Jacob exemplifies the true meaning of a Sachem's football player. Shows up early, committed to his craft, and most importantly, he leads by example on and off the field. Briggy is a 2-time South Shore League All-Star in football, basketball, and is a League All-Star in track and field. He is also the 2022 South Shore League MVP in football. Jacob is also a 2-time Brockton Enterprise Patriot Ledger All-Scholastic in football. He led his team to the South Shore League title this season and 2 playoff appearances the past 2 seasons, as well as South Shore League titles in both basketball and track and field during his stay at Middleborough. Let's see, he started 22 games at quarterback for the Sachems and 2 games at corner. He is also a 3-year starter on the basketball team and a state qualifier in high jump and the track team in the spring. Jacob carries a 3.72 grade point average and ranks in the top third of his class. He's a member of the National History Honor Society at Middleborough High School. He is also a member of the state-renowned Student Council at Middleborough High School. Jacob has also volunteered his time at Jimmy Fun Walk, town field cleanups for the Little League, and running youth basketball clinics. Jacob is one of the major factors in Middleborough's senior class having so much success in those 3 sports he plays. Jacob is undecided on which college he's going to attend in the fall, but he would like to pursue a major in business. More importantly than all of these accolades, Briggy is a better person. His 22 season stats look like this: 131 at 202 for 1,816 yards, 18 touchdown passes, 110 rushes, 983 yards, and 19 touchdowns. Not a bad season at all. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from Middleborough, Jacob Briggs. From New Bedford High School, please welcome Gisette Val Sierra and Coach Mark DeBrito. Well, let's tell you what the coach said about Gisette. Gisette Val Sierra is this year's Otto Graham nominee for New Bedford High School. He is a two-year starter at wide receiver, defensive back, and also a punter for the Whalers. He was also voted as a team captain this season and was the team's MVP. 2 years ago, Gisette was in a hospital bed for a majority of the year dealing with a life-threatening illness that forced him to miss the entire football season. The illness not only impacted his football career, but most of all, his status as a student. Gisette would eventually beat the illness and work his way back to school and back to the gridiron. Gisette not only returned, he became one of the best players in the region and one of the best leaders that they have in a long time. From his defensive back position, Gisette had 34 tackles. 2 of them were for losses, 8 pass breakups. Gisette also played a major role on special teams as a punter and return man on kickoffs. Gisette scored twice on special teams, one on a kickoff return and the other on a blocked field goal return in which he made the block and scored, scooped it up and scored. His biggest impact came on the offensive side of the ball where he made 54 receptions for 632 yards and 5 receiving TDs. Gisette has also dedicated his time to many charities and causes within the community. Gisette has volunteered at the New Bedford Half Marathon, the United Day of Caring, helped coach the youth during the Boys and Girls Club Flag League, and has assisted with both the Whalers and Bears youth organizations. Coach says they're very extremely and proud of Gisette and are glad to nominate him. Ladies and gentlemen, once again from New Bedford High School, Gisette Val Sierra. From Old Colony High School, please welcome Matthew McGuigan and Coach Brandon Mendez. Well, Coach Mendez says it's an honor for Old Colony to nominate Matthew McGuigan for the Otto Graham Achievement Award. Matt was the leader of the best team in school history, guiding the team to 10 wins and a trip to the MIAA state semifinals this season, the state vocational semifinals last year, and back-to-back Mayflower Athletic Conference championships for the first time in over 25 years. Not only did Matt lead on the field as a 3-year starting quarterback, cornerback, and kicker, but he stood out as the team's emotional leader on a daily basis. Matt was instrumental in the team's success by leading the off-season program, leading focused and effective practices during the season, playing with mental and physical toughness each and every day, being extremely coachable, and setting high expectations for himself, but also for his teammates. Matt will finish as one of the best players in school history. The 2-year team captain has been a 3-time league All-Star, 2-time league MVP, named to the Massachusetts High School Football Coaches Association Division VIII All-State Team, Standard Time Super Team, and Boston Globe All-Scholastics. His senior year statistics, he passed 49 completions for 778 yards for 15.9 per average. Also 3 touchdowns and 2 two-point after touchdown completions. He rushed for 552 yards for a 6.7 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns and 5 two-point rushes after touchdown. Defensively, he had 72 tackles, 9 of them for loss, 22 passes defended, 3 interceptions, 1 return for touchdown, and did we mention 3 forced fumbles, 2 recovered, 1 recovered for a TD, 2 block punts, and a partridge in a pear tree. No, the partridge in a pear tree was not there. I'm sorry, that popped in to go. In addition to a strong senior season, Matt will finish his career with over 2,000 passing yards, 15 passing TDs, and 5 two-point passes, and over 1,200 rushing yards with 15 touchdowns scored and 7 two-point rushes. He also accounted for 3 more defensive touchdowns and a safety in his career. More impressively, though, Matt wasn't throwing or running the ball. He was the lead blocker from the quarterback position on the majority of the offensive plays in the double wing formation. His influence was felt on every play as he brought a gritty toughness to each down, and the entire team followed his lead. Academically, Matt is an excellent student, posting a 3.5 GPA in a challenging honors academic schedule and his technical area of study in the welding shop. Matt is also a 3-year letter winner in basketball and baseball, In addition to leading on the field and in the locker room, Matt leads in the community. Matt was a dependable and active volunteer every year at the youth football and basketball camps, and he spent his weekends this fall as a youth referee in the Town of Plymouth Recreation Department. Matt has been recognized by school staff for his positive leadership and is viewed as an influential leader among his peers. Matt is deserving of the praise, as he often does the right things out of the spotlight without ever being asked, such as sweeping the team bus after games for the drivers and helping the underclassmen feel comfortable and at home and in the school community. These actions truly show the character and leadership skills of what every team captain and student athlete should be. Matt undoubtedly impacted the team's success on and off the field over the past 4 years and will continue to be the standard at Old Colony for years to come. He's currently considering continuing his football playing career at Mass Maritime or Western New England in the fall, or enrolling in the United States Navy upon graduation. We thank you for your consideration of Matt McGuigan for the award this year. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, from Old Colony, Matt McGuigan. From Old Rochester, please welcome Walter Rocher and Coach Bryce Gibo. Well, here's what the coach said about Walter. It's a great pleasure that Old Rochester nominates Walter Rocher for this year's Otto Graham Award. He was a 3-year, two-way starter for the Bulldogs at his running back and middle linebacker position. As a junior, Walter exploded on the scene. Through 4 games, he rushed for 832 yards and 9 touchdowns and led the team with 34 tackles. Unfortunately, early in the 5th game of the year, Walter broke his collarbone on a running play, ending his season prematurely. He was selected as a captain for his senior year, and once he was medically cleared, he was determined to not have any setbacks during his senior season. Walter didn't disappoint as he rushed for 1,413 yards on 143 carries and 23 touchdowns on offense. He was great in pass protection and took pride in his blocking ability. On defense, Walter led the team with 111 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. Walter's leadership and playmaking ability will be sorely missed in the Old Rochester football program. As good of a football player Walter was for the program, he is an even better person. He did all his talking on the field with his pads and set a great example for our younger players. Walter has a 3.2 GPA and also runs spring track. He has taken his role of setting an example for the underclassmen at Old Rochester High School very seriously, and we are proud to nominate Walter for the prestigious Otto Graham Award. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from Old Rochester, Walter Rocher. From Somerset Berkeley High School, please welcome Davis Sullivan and his coach, excuse me there, got ahead of myself, Nick Freitas. Sorry, Nick. Well, this year's Otto Graham nominee for Somerset Berkeley is Davis Sullivan. Davis has been a great two-way player and an integral part of our offense, defense, and special teams for the last 3 years. Davis has only been playing football since his sophomore year. He was a very raw as a sophomore, but he hasn't been impressive with skills and athleticism. They knew that it would just be a matter of time before he figured it all out. His junior year, he started at cornerback and started to work in as a running back. Davis also played on all the special teams. Davis has a can-do attitude and is willing to do anything to help the team win. We like to say at Somerset Berkeley, games are won in the off-season. Davis Sullivan is a 3-sport athlete. He is an outstanding hockey player and excels in spring track and its sprinting events. Beyond his accolades in the other sports, Davis would find time to get into the weight room. He knew that in order for him to be successful and healthy, he needed to get bigger and stronger. When the summer came, Davis never missed a day. That exercise helped Davis lead the team in rushing yards. He finished the season scoring over 100 points. He had 16 touchdowns, 5 two-point conversions, and ended up rushing for 1,126 yards. These are impressive stats considering that Somerset Berkeley also had another running back who rushed for 100 points and ran for over 1,000 yards. Davis also had one interception on defense and was a pretty dynamic kick and punt returner. He had a kickoff return for a 99-yard touchdown in league game this year. Davis Sullivan has been an excellent football player and team player. He cared not about stats, but about winning. He was a true competitor. Off the field, Davis is even a better human being. He has outstanding character traits. When talking to other coaches and teachers, everyone has something great to say about Davis. He will be going to college to study finance next year. This year's Otto Graham nominee from Somerset Berkeley, ladies and gentlemen, Davis Sullivan. From Taunton High School, please welcome Jacob Leonard and Coach Brad Sidwell. Here's what Coach had to say about Jacob. This year's nominee from Taunton High School is Jacob Leonard, a 24-game starter over the 3 seasons. He has been an asset to the program. A throwing quarterback, his statistical numbers this season include 121 completions out of 185 attempts for a 65.4 completion percentage, 1,736 yards, 17 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. And as a junior, his statistics were 144 of 246 for a 58.5 completion percentage, 1,977 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. He also rushed 52 times for 189 yards. And as a sophomore for the Tigers, he played late in the season. His first pass ever was an 80-yard deep touchdown throw. That's a nice way to start your career. A good teammate on and off the field, Jake was chosen as captain of the coaches at the start of his senior year. He's an active member of our successful DECA club at Taunton High School, detailing with business sciences and creating solutions. He has also volunteered in the student council, helping with fundraisers and activities. He is a recruitable player with many local Division III schools stopping by Taunton High School to meet with him. I am certain that he will succeed and look forward to watching him compete in college. The Taunton High School Athletic Department and football program are grateful for inclusion in the Otto Graham Award. And once again, from Taunton High School, Jacob Leonard. There is one other candidate that couldn't be with us tonight, and we're just going to tell you all about him from Wareham. That's Elijah Carrion. Elijah right now is running up and down the court across the way here, taking on the New Bedford Voc Tech basketball team. As the old saying goes, victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. Not too much winning at Wareham High School these past 4 years. Very little participation in a sport that once thrived at Wareham High. Elijah Carrion came into high school with the previous team returning 14 total players, freshmen through varsity. 4 years later, his Vikings would arrive on Thanksgiving Day with 18 total players, freshmen through varsity again. He knew every year that he would only have a few other orphans around him to compete with. Yet, in spite of this adversity, he chose to compete at Wareham High and endure the challenges. As a sophomore, Elijah's team was above 500. As a starter during the first quarter of a game versus Seekonk, Elijah ran for a first down and endured a horrific injury. He landed awkwardly and dislocated his elbow. Coming to the sideline, he coolly said, "Coach, something is wrong with my elbow." His forearm and wrist were turned almost completely over, and so was his season. As a junior, Elijah bounced back, and his team was once again 500 when he was a starter. Wareham was leading Upper Cape in the second quarter when, after an odd tackle, he came to the sideline and said, "Coach, I think there's something wrong with my shoulder." Elijah continued to play through the drive until the trainer removed him. He had fractured his collarbone, and you guessed it, season over once again. His senior season, he recovered once again, but this year he would have a tight end and 2 wide receivers that had never played football before, and his star running back would suffer a season-ending ankle injury during the 7th game of the season in the first quarter. The prospects of winning were very remote. With 16 players on the team, there were no backups with the necessary capabilities to compete. But compete Elijah did. He did the best with what he had. He managed to run for a touchdown and throw for 4 during his last 3 games. Bad situations and bad circumstances are all too common in life. What is uncommon and unique is the way that one responds. Elijah never missed a practice, never missed a game, injured or playing, and he never quit on his teammates and his coaches. For this, the Wareham football staff believes Elijah earned the right to be recognized for the Otto Graham Award. Elijah is going to be attending the University of Alabama at Birmingham in the fall, where he will major in education. Once again, from Wareham High School, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Carrion. Before we tell you about the finalists and who our award winner is, how about a nice round of applause for all of our nominees tonight? So, we have a new tradition here. We like to let you know who the finalists are for the award, and we ask you that if I call your name, please stand up. So, first of all, our finalists from Apponequet, Jackson Gagne. From Middleborough, Jacob Briggs. And, stay up there, Jake. No, we're going to make you work hard here. And from Old Rochester Regional, Walter Rocher. In my hand, I have the envelope that, well, it isn't sealed, I'm surprised. So we can tell you who this is right now. Out of these three fine gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to let you know that the 2022 winner of the 41st Annual Otto Graham Achievement Award goes to Middleborough High School's Jacob Briggs. Congratulations. Outstanding. And here's the one that goes with it. Put that on there. Let me get my junk out of your way. There you go.
Let me see here. I wrote a little something up just in case.
Always be prepared.
First, I would like to thank all of my teammates. Without them, I would never have been able to accomplish the things I have accomplished throughout my career. Next, I'd like to thank all my coaches for putting me in the best positions to be successful every day. I want to thank Middleborough High School for the continued support of their athletes. That is really unmatched. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my family. All of the unconditional support that you guys give is the real reason I am able to be the player I am today. Being a football player is not about being the best player on the field or even being a good player. There's a bigger reason I play football. Throughout my many years of playing football, I've created an immense amount of relationships, learned so many life lessons, and grown as a person. That is why I play, and that is why football is the greatest sport to play. Thank you.
Jacob, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for tonight's proceedings. We thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you all have a wonderful Hanukkah, a great Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year, and we'll talk to you again, and we have coffee too. Well, now it's really worth coming here, isn't it? We get coffee too. I'm all excited. Let's go. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great year, everyone.